Last night was October's Yes We Cant at the Pretty Bricks in Warsaw, and our headliner was Melanie Branton, and myself, Emma and Steve first met Melanie last year at the Edinburgh Fringe, where she was taking up her show, The Cloth-Eared Heart, which is very difficult for me to say, particularly when you speak Black Country and you drop all your H's. It was a brilliant show. We brought her up to Wolverhampton in January for part of Wolverhampton Lit Fest, and we thought, why not get her in for the good folks at Warsaw? So she came in, did a rip-roaring set, full of emotion, lots of light bits to bring you back up, very well constructed set. She was brilliant, the audience loved her, and I got to talk to her just after the show, and this is it. So, I love saying this, roll VT. Now, your first, Yes We Can, what did you think?
I absolutely loved it. I think, well, your hosting is incredible. You kind of really rev everyone up, all three of you, and but also it's such a lovely atmosphere. It was so diverse. I was saying to some people there that you go to some open mics and you can tell everybody has watched Purple Paper People by Harry Baker and are trying to recreate it, and it becomes quite cynical and by numbers, whereas here I felt people had genuine stories that they really needed to tell, and it was original, and it was from the heart, and it was authentic, and it was very, very moving, and so many diverse styles as well. It was,
which is of course one of the reasons why we brought you down here anyway, because again, seeing you tonight, I mean, this is now the third time I've seen you, fourth time I've seen you, I think. It really does seem like you're really pulling demons out.
Yeah.
If I always feel it's difficult watching you in a good, not in a kind of perverse way, in a kind of a cathartic way, and I always worry about you. It's like, how do you do that night after night with that show?
I don't. It actually. People say that, but most of the time it is actually therapeutic. I mean, I think I'd lived with, the one you're thinking of, I'd lived with that for a very long time, and it had a very negative effect on me. And since I've been doing that poem, it's been a lot better. I mean, sometimes I did a theatre festival this summer where I did sort of 4 performances in 3 days, and I think the third one I came off stage totally emotionally exhausted, but generally it's good. It's good.
Wow, because I mean, I doff my cap to you, I really do, because it's so moving, and it's just taken us into a world that's there that shouldn't be there.
I know, but I feel quite guilty thinking about it, because talking to a lot of female friends with the Brett Kavanaugh thing, I realised that what happened to me wasn't particularly bad compared to most. I'd say most women have got a story like that, and which is shocking.
But that's why it needs to be heard.
I feel a bit guilty, sort of attention seeking, sort of doing it sometimes, because I think other people have got worse ones.
Yes, they have, but that should not silence you, because you've got every right to express that, and you should be expressing it, because it's a world people need to know exists. There's still people out there that think it's made up, you know what I mean? So good on you for doing that. But one of the things that's always amazed me about your performances as well is you seem to have this beautiful way of, you've punched your audience in the guts, and then you bring them back up. You've got some wonderful jokes and some lovely asides in there. How long did it take you to get that, and to be able to go from something so dark, meaningful and personal, and then be able to go crack a joke and
I think I've always done a mixture of comic and serious. I think it reflects the kind of poetry I read and the stuff I like. I think I always used to start comic and then get more serious, and then a friend said, a very good poet actually said to me, you can't do that, you've got to bring them out again. So she kind of sort of got me to finish on a comic one, and I think she was absolutely right. She's one of many pieces of good advice she's given. Hannah Teasdale, she's a fantastic poet. It's one of many good pieces of advice she's given me.
And you've now just passed on to loads of other people, so that's good. How do you write all this stuff? Where does it, well, not where does it come from, but what is that writing process like inside Melanie Branton's head?
I don't know, it varies, it very much varies. I started off doing page poetry, and as I've gone on, the line between page and performance poetry has become much more blurred. I think initially I did sort of very kind of, I was going to say Pamese, not entirely, performance poetry, and then sort of very serious page poetry. But as I've gone on, they've kind of, I think there's some that just come out spontaneously that I write them almost in one sitting, and then others I can take months to try and get right. It just very much varies.
So we met in Edinburgh when you were running your show and we were running ours.
Yeah, which was very good.
Yeah, yours is just amazing. What are you doing next? Is there a plan to have... So we've got a plan to do another show.
Yeah.
Have you got anything squiggling away inside?
Yeah, I hope to do another show next year at Edinburgh. But yeah, I'm working on it.
And on that Edinburgh thing, how did you find it? I mean, we were there a week and we found it exhilarating, but also tough and exhausting. And we had the backup of each other. You were there for the entire month on your own.
Yeah, well, I was on my own, but I wasn't, because I did know a lot of people. So a lot of people I know from the Bristol spoken word scene were up in Edinburgh for bits of it, and one of my best friends from the Devon spoken word scene came up for a week as well.
That's good, yeah.
And also people like you and some the other people at the venue were fantastic. And going with PBH, I think it was. I've been to the Fringe twice before with paid venues, and PBH was so much better in terms of the camaraderie and just generally feeling you were part of a company, not just yourself. It was great. I don't know I'd do the full 3 weeks again, but I think you have to do it once in your life if you can.
Yes, definitely.
One thing that I do, I do find that the Fringe, and it's getting worse, and hopefully I think they are supposed to be having a consultation this year, and hopefully it will change. But I think it's not really a Fringe anymore. If you watch the press coverage, it seems that 4 venues, I think Summer Hall, the Assembly Rooms, Pleasance, there's one of them I forget which it is, get all the press coverage, and it's the venues that won't take you unless you're established already. And well, why call it a Fringe if no one is prepared to take any risk, and no one, and it's not, and people spend their life savings going there, and they don't even stand. No one even bothers seeing them. I mean, spoken word tends to get very little coverage anyway, but you just think that's not what Fringe was started for. Yeah, and PBH, which seems to be more popular with actual Edinburgh people than most of the Fringe, just seems to completely go under the radar.
Because the one thing that always got me, I remember meeting one audience member queuing for Phil Jupiter's gig. And they were like, I was telling them about our show, and they went, "Oh, we'd love to go and see it, but," and they pulled out a spreadsheet, and then they got all these, every minute of every day was pre-planned. It's like, you've got no time here to discover something like your show, our show, whatever. Which for me is what Fringe is about. It's what Fringe is about, exactly. So that's brilliant. I think we'll knock it on the head there, and that's great. Thank you.